What is going on, nerds and nerdettes? It's your boy Stevie B. I know it has been a while since I've done any content. Man, I tell you what, man. I just kind of hit a wall. I mean, not only did I not have anything interesting to show, I didn't have anything interesting to say. And I just kind of got to a point where, man, I just needed a break. I just needed a break. Work is stressful, and I felt like I wasn't getting any rest. Felt like no energy, no motivation, no nothing. But my work schedule has officially gone back to normal after about 3 months of this long schedule, and so I'm back to do some content. But before I do get back to the regularly scheduled stuff, I want to talk about I guess you'd call it YouTube fatigue. It's a real thing, man. I mean, sometimes when I started this channel, I never expected ever to make money from this. I never ever expected to be able to make a living from doing this, because quite frankly, I'm not good enough at doing this to make money off of, and I don't have the equipment. I don't have time to put the work in required to make your YouTube channel successful enough that you can quit your job. So I never had that, those delusions of grandeur. I honestly, and I may have touched on this story before a little bit, but I'll give you a little background story on me and the comic book channel. I started this. I was in a relationship. I'm trying to be respectful. I don't want to be disrespectful to the person I was in the relationship with, but she had some demons that I tried. I spent 2 years trying to help her conquer these demons and get past them. I don't blame her for the issues that she had. I think her doctors, it was a prescription drug problem. Her doctor had put her on some pretty hardcore pain medication, and a ridiculous amount of it, and lo and behold, she become addicted to it. I blame the doctor. The amount of Percocets and muscle relaxers and stuff that this doctor put her on are stuff they put on people in car wrecks for a temporary solution, not a permanent solution. She was on this medications for years, and honestly, when we started dating, I didn't see it, because she didn't load up before we went out and stuff and spent time together. But as we got comfortable and I kind of moved in with her, helped her with her mom, who was suffering from Alzheimer's at the time, and moved in to help out, and stayed there through watching her mom pass and everything. But it just, I've seen it up close, and it's an ugly thing. If you've ever lived with anyone that had a drug addiction, especially pain pill addiction or something, it's not pretty up close in person. But from incoherent conversations to passing out with lit cigarettes in her mouth, and burning holes in her shirt and the furniture and all this, it was a lot to take in. And I tried, and she tried, to be fair. She tried to make changes, but she just couldn't shake the habit. And when it get to the point where the drugs are more important than the relationship, then you got to get out of it. And I didn't want to at the time, but I didn't see any other alternative, so I had to get out of it. But anyway, long story short, during that time that I was there, I was in a pretty bad depressive state, and I needed something, an outlet to occupy my time and take my mind off of my stress and stuff like that. And so I took up disc golf, which was one, and also I ran across Comic Foo. Y'all remember Foo? I ran across his channel, and he was opening mystery boxes, and I was like, man, comic books, man, I remember back in the 90s when I collected comic books, and I enjoyed them so much. Had to sell off my entire collection, which was pretty substantial, and got nothing for it. Made the mistake of putting it in a public estate auction, and the guy sold them off. I told him, don't sell these off as a lot, and he did. He sold my entire collection off as one lot instead of one box as I instructed, and I think I ended up getting $200 for my entire comic book collection, which I had I had books in there that were worth more than $200 by themselves. I mean, I had ASM 50, I had a 300 in there, which of course back then they weren't quite as crazy high as they are now, but they were worth more than $200. Anyway, but I'm bleeding off. I'm trying not to run off the mouth, but I got a lot to say, so this might be a lengthy video. But at any rate, so I thought I missed those, and Comic Foo inspired me to start my own channel. I'd been on, we developed kind of a friendship early on before I even had a channel, and he invited me on, and we started the Mystery Men and stuff, and got to be pretty good friends, and I've been in love with doing content ever since. But and the name Stevie B Comics came from, here's where y'all gonna laugh, y'all gonna get a chuckle out of this. I'm talking kind of softly because it is 5 o'clock in the morning and everybody's asleep and I can't sleep. But anyway, I used to go to a bar that did karaoke a lot. Yeah, I know. Believe it or not, your boy can sing. Your boy has a pretty good voice. He does pretty good at singing. No, I'm not going to sing, and don't ask, because the answer would be no. Because ironically enough, I have a very, very I have very bad stage fright. So it takes more than mug root beer before I have enough liquid courage in me to actually get up and sing. But anyway, I used to do karaoke a lot, and one of the karaoke DJs, his name was Steve Kincaid. We developed a really good friendship. He was a really good buddy. He was a great guy, but when we would sing karaoke, it was me, my name's Steve, his name was Steve, and there were 3 other people that would go karaoke that night at the same place on the same night, whose names were Steve. So I started putting Steve B on mine so he could distinguish between us, and he started calling me Stevie B. So he would, come on up, Stevie B. But we got so good, close friendship. I never even filled out songs. He would just put me in rotation and pick something for me to do that he wanted me to do, and but we developed a good friendship. And he passed away right about the time I started the channel. It's been about 5-6 years ago that he passed away, and it was pretty devastating for not just me, but for a lot of people that he made friends with. But when I started my channel in honor of him, I called the channel Stevie B Comics. Truth be told, I cannot stand to be called Stevie. I hate that name with a passion, and I know by saying this, that means my comment section is going to be lit up with Stevie. And I've accepted that over the last 5 years. I've been making content for 5 years, and I've accepted the fact that I made this bed, so suck it up and lie in it. So I'm okay with the fact that people call me Stevie, even though I don't like it. But at any rate, that is the origin of Stevie B Comics. And I tell you this because, man, I've just gone through a funk. Financially, I'm strapped. I'm not being able to purchase comics like I'd like to. You've noticed that even when I do a haul video, they're very small, and it's because I don't have the funding to buy as much as I'd like. And I'm not an idiot. I mean, I watch my content, and I know that a lot of people that still watch my content watch it out of loyalty, not because it's quality. I understand that. I'm not Comic Tom. I'm not hell, I can't even remember the names of the big names anymore. Every time I watch them, it makes me feel inferior. So, but I don't have the technology. I don't have that camera presence, and I don't have the energy and I'm not entertaining. I'm not entertaining like Wink Inc. was and all them. And I'm not an encyclopedia of knowledge like they were. So and I hold up a book, which ironically on my last haul, I dubbed this the first appearance of Heatwave, and it is not the first appearance of Heatwave, which just goes to show you I'm not an encyclopedia of knowledge. I make mistakes, but I've always tried to run my channel raw as who I am. I don't script anything. I don't. I'll sometimes, if I have something to say, I'll make notes to myself so I don't forget them, because I am forgetful. But I'm not good at giving you an entire dissertation about this comic book. I can tell you that, hey, I love this cover, which I do, and that it's the first appearance, which it's not, but it is a cool cover. But and then I can show you condition. It's a low grade condition, but I didn't pay nothing for it. But I love me some Silver Age Flash and stuff, and tell you that, and that's about as good as it gets. Sometimes I love to do product reviews when I find a new product, because I love sharing that with you. But I've always tried to be transparent. I've tried to be real. What you see is what you get. I'm not a character. I don't play the character Stevie B on YouTube. This is who I am. Mistakes and all, stupid mistakes and all, and stammering, stuttering, and everything else and all. It's who I am, and I've always tried to be real like that and transparent. I always wanted to appeal to the people who aren't Comic Tom, who aren't a nerdy girl, who can't afford to. You know what? I think I'm going to go pick up a Hulk 181 today and try it out and go buy one. I don't. Those people, those are not my people, because they don't understand. They've lost sight of how cool it is to pick up this $5 book, and how cool it is, and how much you appreciate the artwork and stuff. Most of them see dollar signs, and I'm not bagging on anybody, but I mean, if comic books are an investment for you and a means and your livelihood, and that's how you make your money, hey, whatever it takes to keep the industry alive, I don't care. But at any rate, but I've always tried to have integrity. I've tried to own up to my mistakes, and I've made a lot of them. I have, you know, from the whole fiasco, the DJ Links and Wink Inc. and everybody was mad at me and yeah, everybody was mad at me. I tried to make it right. I mean, I tried to apologize to the whole fiasco where I severely undervalued a mystery box that I got from Mike Ackery, that because of some glitch in eBay's website or app that wasn't showing last solds first. It was showing sold items from lowest price to highest or something, but it got me all turned around. And when I did a mystery box by him, I was reading last solds off and they were not accurate. They were not current last solds. So I had to film an apology video for that. Between my technical errors and trying to do giveaways and not being able to figure out StreamYard and everything, I think I've come a long way, both in articulation and stage presence and you know, fewer technical difficulties. So I mean, in 5 years, I think I finally feel a little more comfortable talking to a camera and there's nobody in the room but me. It was a little awkward. I mean, if you watch my first video, I had no intentions of being on camera. I knocked the tripod over. I was holding the books up. They weren't even in the screen. I was literally holding books up like this. Oh, and then we got this one. I really love this cover. Isn't it gorgeous? Because I wasn't facing the camera. I had the camera behind me and was shining into it flat or recording over my shoulder. I was a doofus back then, but I've come a long way. I've tried, my collection's come a long way, but I've always tried, like I said, I've always tried to be transparent. I've always tried to have, you know, keep my integrity and be for real with y'all. In doing so, I've made a lot of friends who I do appreciate, but I come this close to completely rebranding the channel. You might have seen a little tag that I post. This is how close I came. That I posted on my YouTube posts. I even posted it in my Facebook group, which I have 9 people in. Nobody cares about, but this said changes are coming with a little image of a wild boar on there and stuff. So I was so close. I was this close to rebranding, and we were going to no longer be Stevie B Comics. We were going to be this. Razorbat Comics. Because I'm in Arkansas and I was doing a play on words with Razorbacks and Batman, combine them together with that image, which is a cool image. You know, gotta love AI. But I like the image, but man, I fired it off at a couple of friends out there, and a couple of them have talked me off the ledge, and the main one who talked me down was old Wink Inc. Yeah, Alex. Yeah, I still keep in touch with him. He's still a good friend, but he basically told me, man, I would fire that idea into the sun. Yeah, I can always count on him for being brutally honest with me, and I appreciate it. I really do. But he reminded me that changing your name of your channel and trying to rebrand doesn't change the outcome. Basically, unless I change my format completely and change my content completely, changing the name of the channel accomplishes nothing other than losing the people who do recognize you by your channel name, and it gains nothing for me. So I'll continue to be Stevie, as much as I don't like to be called that, but it's fine. I'm not, like I said, me saying that I hate to be called Stevie only ensures that more of you are going to call me Stevie as much as possible. I see you, Jedi Farce. No, but so he's another one. He said, don't change your name. Nobody likes New Coke. But it was mainly Alex that talked me down off the ledge. And, unless you're changing everything about your channel, changing the name isn't going to get people to stop calling you Stevie, which he's right. He said he rebranded his channel and people didn't stop calling him Wink. She's right, because I'm still calling him. I call him Alex. I only call him Wink on the channel because that's how y'all know him. If I said, oh, Alex, you wouldn't know who I was talking about. But at any rate, I thought rebranding would do a disservice to the people that have been with me from the beginning. But I want to take a moment to let you all know how much I do appreciate you guys, even though sometimes I lack engagement in my comic section, which in all honesty is pure laziness. But I do appreciate you guys that do watch, all 20 to 30 of you that tune in and watch my content every week, even to troll me. I see you again, Jedi Farce. But, I mean, there's a lot of history that's come down from this channel with my 1,100 subscribers. Shout out to my influencers. I know y'all hate that word, but in this context, it's a good thing. But Comic Fu, Dave, he was an influencer. He's the one that influenced me to start a YouTube channel, and kind of got in my head about doing it after seeing his content and how much I liked his show, and I value that his contribution to that, and having me on the show and giving me some exposure to give me some viewers, so that it didn't feel like I was just talking to myself and making videos for myself. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for the time that I spent on doing Mystery Men. I'm grateful for my very first subscriber, CFAP. Remember him? Comics for All People. CFAP was my very first subscriber, followed closely by Fu, even before my family members. So I appreciate them. Appreciate Luis from Comic Vantage for giving us a product to build a platform around. For the longest time, I was opening mystery boxes on my channel solo, and then the whole basis of the Mystery Men was opening Comic Vantage boxes. And the show was popular. I still get asked about it. So I appreciate him. I appreciate Biggie Shack and the gang over there, Comic Head 84, and all those guys for shouting out my channel and giving me my first substantial subscriber boost. I appreciate everybody who's ever sent me a gift. Two Brothers Comics, who sent me the bomb in a box that ended up being a laptop, which I still have, was probably one of the most generous gifts anybody's ever given me that didn't even know who I was. But I miss those guys. A lot of these guys are still not around. I'm still in contact with Alex. I'm so appreciative to him. Because before he was big, when I actually had more subscribers than he had, he sent me an A-OK because he enjoyed my content, which I thought was awesome. He sent me an A-OK, and I showcased it on the channel. And I knew from watching his content, I told him, I said, dude, you're gonna blow past me so fast, I'm not even going to see you coming. He said, oh, no, I'm not. He's one of those people with that fake humility. He knew he was going to be successful at that. He liked to pretend like he didn't, but he did. He knew. He can't fool nobody. But he did. He blew past me and became successful. And then once he got successful, he was kind of like, okay, I showed myself I could do it. I'm done now. Moving on. But no, I joke. He had his reasons for getting out. But I'm so appreciative to him. I'm so appreciative to the loyal ones that come on here. Jean Malot, Daryl, JW, James Woods. I appreciate you guys. The people that come in my comments, every time I post a video, even you, Jedi Farce, who only comes into my comments to drop some kind of valiant troll. Even though it gets aggravating sometimes because I'm thinking, man, you have beaten that horse to death. Let it die. Nobody trolls me over Valiant comics anymore except Jedi Farce. But I even appreciate his engagement. I appreciate Squatchy, even though, our friendship went south. Just sometimes, personalities just collide to the point where you just can't. But I do appreciate the banner that we had back and forth, on Mystery Men, and I still, to this day, I'm going to say this, and then I'm not going to be able to remember what I think I put them up, but I still have an entire binder full of comic books that Squatchy did for me, and even that one, I still have one of them on the wall. That one right there. If I can get my finger to focus on it, there it is, right there. Fart Night. And even though our friendship didn't survive the test of time and couldn't survive each other's barbs and attacks, and I still appreciate the contributions that he made to my channel, and I appreciate his friendship. I appreciate Chad, RCG. Those three guys right there gave me probably three of my biggest Grail books for Christmas. It was Foo, Chad, Squatchy. They all three got me those as a Christmas present early on in my YouTube career. But I appreciate them. There's a lot of people out there who I appreciate from what they've done. A lot of people that have sent me AOKs and stuff, and there's so many to mention, and I don't want to. I feel bad that I can't mention every single one of you by name, because I don't want you to think that I don't appreciate it, but I do. And for you guys that have stuck with me, I'm going to continue on. Might not be as frequent for a while. Like I said, I'm under a brand new car payment. That's $318, which is about 150 more than my weekly comic book budget was allocated for. So I'm stretching things thin, but I've always tried to be the common collector for the common person, and that's who my target audience is. The people that can't go out and spend $10,000 and buy Grandma Marge's old dusty comic books collections. People that try to chip away at their goals and their grails a little at a time and get there. So for those of you that appreciate that content, I am truly thankful for you. I'm truly thankful for every 1,100 and some change subscribers that I do have. And I will try to get better at this. I like I said, I'm a very self-aware man. I understand that I'm terrible at these videos, and that they can be mundane and boring at times, but you guys suffer through them anyway. And I just wanted to let you know that I do appreciate them. And I will be putting out after I get done with this little rant that I went on, I am going to film a haul video. I do have some really two cool things that specifically that I can't wait to show you that are not comic books, but they are amazing anyway. that being said, once again, Stevie B Comics is here to stay. I'm not changing a thing, but we were so close. We were so close to it. Once again, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks, Alex, and to my real life friends out there that I say real life friends. That didn't come out the way I meant it. I mean the friends who I actually live by, see, hang out with, and everything. You know, I appreciate you guys. You know, that being Ryan, of course, and the comic book preacher, of course. Those are the only two. But at any rate, I'm done rambling. Now you know my backstory. Now you know why I'm going to stay. And thank you for bearing with me while I go through this identity crisis mode that I've been in. But we'll continue to put out the best content that I can. I do have some stuff in order that'll come in, and I do have a video that I'm going to film as soon as I shut up and turn the camera off. That being said, thank you for all my subscribers that have stuck with me. You're very, very appreciated, and love you guys. That being said, do all those YouTube things we love for you to do. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. But we'll see you guys in the haul video coming up. Peace. I've been told that I was doing that backwards, so I've corrected. Peace.